Hello, all Top Fan Rivalry followers, Bourbon and Baseball Pod followers. It's time for Astros in Orbit. Suzy, how are you doing? Are you ready for another show?
I am doing well. I mean, I guess I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So I guess, we should probably get to it. But yeah,
I,
it's like,
I mean, we're here, you're here, I'm here. Why not? Let's
yeah.
just let's just work it through. So not a lot's going on in the Astros world. I do have one thing before we you tell me of any Astros things. Big
Okay.
news. Blake Snell signed yesterday morning. He signed for $900 million for a 2-year contract with the Top Fan Rivalry team.
Oh, but
Um,
how much of that is deferred though?
well, see, here's how this works. Here's how this contract works.
Hmm.
Okay. I have to pay him $900 million over 2 years.
Okay.
For every start that he makes, that he pitches less than 7 innings, 7 full innings, he has to pay me.
Oh, how much does he have to pay you per game?
Calculated out based on starts. And we have a certain number of starts that he has to make. So he has to make at least 70 starts this season, and he has to
Hmm.
pitch at least 7 innings per. Otherwise, they're not paying.
Oh, okay. So
So
basically you could just put that money in your pocket then, is what you're
pretty
telling me.
much, because he's going to be paying us. So it's big news in the sports world. I haven't seen it hit ESPN or MLB Network yet, but it's bound to. It's
Well,
bound to.
well, if Passan hasn't tweeted it, then it's not real news. So you're gonna
Well,
have to wait for the Passan bomb.
yeah, him or Hyman. Hyman tweeted out something. He said Blake Nell is talking to rivalry something. And so,
Oh, okay,
and he
okay.
cross-referenced his Arson Judge tweet. So I'm kind of thinking maybe there's an issue there, but whatever. It's good to go. Good to go. So what's going on in Astros
Yeah,
land?
that's
Have you
true.
guys
That's
done
true.
anything in the last week?
Not really. No, I think we're again just chilling like villains over here with our Victor Caratini signing. The only really big move, I guess you could say, is that we quote unquote lost Jason Kanzler, who was one of the assistant hitting coaches, and he, I want to say he moved up through our minor league system and was
Okay.
our assistant hitting coach for the last 2 seasons, last season maybe. And he is now the head of player development for the Cubs. So, you know, Cubs, look at you getting all of your, I guess, pieces in place before you want to sign any players. I don't know. You signed a, uh, you know, 50 gajillion million dollar head 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 coach. Good night, manager over there. But I don't know what you're doing for players, so I don't know. I've
So
Cubs
so
fans,
let me
tell me.
ask you that then, because you
Mhm.
mentioned the manager for a second, right? So let me ask you that. So what does it look like if, let's say, you guys got rid of your current manager? What does it look like if you got rid of your current manager and you hired Bruce Bochy, who is the Rangers manager? Like, how would that feel? Because that's kind of what the Cubs got going on right now. One of their division rivals is now their manager.
Yeah, yeah. See, I would not have as much vitriol in my heart as some people because I saw what Bruce Bochy did, and I'll take that in a mother like in heartbeat. Like the way that he managed some of those players last season and would use his, young rookies that actually played really well. Yes, yes, please, Bruce Bochy. I would love that. Now, I say that it would hurt me currently if we lost Josue, Joe
Josue.
Espada. Yeah, if we did not get any sort of Joe Espada esque things, that would hurt me. But no, I mean I would be okay. Now, if it was last season,
Mhm.
bells on with bells on, I would say yes, absolutely. Trade.
There you go.
Goodbye, Dusty Baker. Bring in Bruce Bochy.
Deuces, everybody.
Yes,
The,
absolutely.
that was a bad example, but that was a good and for everybody listening to this that was my favorite answer that Susie's given of all time because she had to remember that she wasn't on Bourbon and Baseball Pod and had to PG it.
Yeah.
And when you watch this, look at her like her process of how do I fix this? I'm right in the middle of a sentence. That was the best thing I've seen all day. I'm like, how do I fix this? How do I say this?
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of the old, like, the Orbit gum commercials. Do you
Yes,
remember those where,
yes.
they do, like, a whole string of animal none of those are cuss words, and I think for a period of time, I think I went and called people lint lickers for a long time.
It's almost not to get on the commercial train here, but there's not a lot to talk about the Astros. Not to get on the commercial train here. Um, when Carl's Jr. came out with their like commercials, one I think was with Paris Hilton, where she's like in a bikini trying to eat a burger and it's dripping all over.
Oh, yeah, 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 uh-huh.
If it doesn't get all over you, it doesn't belong in your face or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, there is nothing in this commercial that you're looking at that says, I want to buy that burger. There's nothing in this commercial. And I'm just thinking to myself, every time I saw that, I thought somebody like lost a bet in the marketing department and at Carl's Jr. and said, all right, okay, yeah, all right, I'll post this. But it was terrible. So, you know, yeah, every time somebody mentions a commercial, I think of bad commercials, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of them. All right, 2024 is now here. We're official. We are in 2024. Pitchers and catchers report in less than 40 days. If you're looking right now and you had to put your Suzy Odamas hat on, like Notre Dame's hat on,
Mhm.
how do the Astros play out 2024? Do they win the division? Do they not win the division? Like, tell me your thoughts on 2024.
I think it's gonna be a dogfight between us and the Rangers. I do think with the current managing team that we have, I think that we will win the division. I think we will win the AL West again.
Hmm.
But it's not going to be by, you know, 10 wins or anything like that. Like I do feel like it will be a dogfight between us and the Rangers. I say that, however, with like a grain of salt because that Ranger starting rotation is not something to be feared until maybe All-Star break. And if everybody is healthy at All-Star break, like then it could possibly turn into something, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. That I feel like that starting rotation is being held together with like duct tape and like prayers now
Hmm.
until they're like, okay, well, let's just get to All Star break. Let's just get to All Star break. Like, I don't know, but maybe that's me as a salty quote unquote Astros fan looking at like the Rangers rotation.
Nope.
Now, granted, I think our starting rotation um, also has some big ifs in it. If 40-year-old Justin Verlander can recreate what he's done, if Framber Valdez can get his head on straight, if Christian Javier can figure out his, like vertical break. Um, I'm tired. Who our fifth starter will be. Is that going to be Jose Urquidy? Is that going to be JB France? Who are we going to put in the bullpen? Um, so if healthy and locked in, I think the Astros starting rotation is probably top five. But there's some ifs in there, and there's not a lockdown. Definitely for sure. 100%. Like I'm 100% comfortable.
Mhm.
So there will be a lot of lint liquor words coming out of my mouth this
Eh,
season, trying to figure out the season and
so one of the things that
my sanity.
one of the things that I don't think baseball fans understand. So the casual baseball fan will go and say, "Oh, that was a boring game. It was 2-1 or whatever." But if you're watching a baseball game like me or you, we understand that pitching is everything.
Yeah.
And so if I'm Kate Upton right now, or Mr. Kate Upton, I should say, I am, I am talking to Christian, I'm talking to Fromer, I'm talking to JP and saying, all right, boys, I've been here.
Hmm.
I'm a Hall of Famer. I maybe not say these in these words, but let me help you work through kinks because it's a long season. And if you want to have a long career, and JB has had a long career.
Yep.
And so This, boys, shut up and listen to me. Christian, the pitch clock, it, um, and Frommer, you had some rough outings. JP, you've had some rough outings. Let me tell you how to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you ultimately you're paying this guy for whatever he gives you on the mound, plus being an assistant pitching coach.
Yep. Well, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can give JV some run support because it is notorious that JV goes out and pitches a gem and, gives up a run, but strikes out, 10, and
Hmm.
we lose 2-1
Right.
because we couldn't give him any sort of like run support. And so I'm really, really hoping, however, that because last season, like I said, couldn't give him any run support. However, his quote unquote personal catcher and his personal center fielder were out there,
Hmm.
and which sat basically two of their good, uh, like people that could hit in Minute Maid Park. And
Hmm.
so I, fingers crossed, am hoping that we can give JV some run support so that he does not pitch a gem and we lose 2-1.
Remind me again, Breck and King Tuck, are their contracts up this season or next season? Remind me.
um Breggs is up this season.
Okay.
Tucker's is basically we're trying to the fan base is trying to figure out if we can buy out his RBers and then like extend him essentially.
Okay.
But no, the contracts that are technically up this season are or the end of this season are Breggs and Altuve.
Okay. Okay. That because so you've got both of those guys. You got to Jose, you cannot not resign. You have
Yeah.
to resign that guy. Alex.
Alex, I'm really hoping will figure out if maybe he can take a little bit of a hometown discount
Mhm.
and stay. But honestly, that third base free agent market next season when his contract comes up is very, very, very bad.
Mhm.
And so I think he would actually make a killing. Um and so, I'm never gonna fault a guy for making his bag. However, Breggy, you don't need to make all of your money from baseball. You got salsa, you got the horses. Reagan's got her clothing line. Come on now. But,
Mhm.
that's that again, I'm not gonna fault any player for, going after the money and making the bag. So, but
Yep.
yeah, no, Jose Altuve, lifelong Astro. And then if we don't sign Breggs, which is kind of sad, I don't I honestly wanted if we're not gonna resign him, my thought process was going to be, okay, well then we need to trade him to try and get some prospects because our farm system, due to the cheating scandal and the missed draft picks and whatnot, is a little lean. So it's a little lean. We've done well with, the players that we've drafted and that we've gotten from the international um, signings and all of that fun stuff. And our player development is really good. We always hit on somebody and everyone's like, where did this guy come from? Oh,
Yep.
but oh wait, I thought the Astros farm system didn't have anybody. And then, like here comes like Christian Javier, here comes and then, like and so it's all of these like people that you're all, wait, I thought they weren't good. Like what? And then it always ends up that, you know, JK, we are actually really good, but I will I will get on my soapbox for just a hot minute though, because
Jump on it. Jump on
our
it.
farm
Jump on that
system
soapbox.
always gets a bad rap, and yet we got Drew Gilbert, we drafted Drew Gilbert, and he was on our system, and literally I saw nobody in the national media talking about Drew Gilbert, about his prospect status, the way that he nothing, not anything. And
Yep.
then as soon as we trade him over to the Mets, he's on prospect lists everywhere. All of
Hmm.
the national prospect lists for the New York Mets. I'm all, sir, I what is happening right now? He didn't change as a player. What he was the same player. What's happening? And it irritates me to no end that just because it's the Astros farm system that the players aren't getting the recognition that they maybe deserve just because it's the Astros farm system versus like the new, and that was really like the big shocking one to me that immediately. And it wasn't like he entered the Met system, got some work over there and then shot up the prospect list. Immediately after that JV trade, he was on prospect lists everywhere. And I was like, I'm I'm so done. I was like, that is the most horse hockey thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'll steal David Sampson's word for that because that's
Li Listen,
I'm
it
trying to remember. It's
happens.
PG 13 Suzy over here.
Listen, it happens all the time. So pre-baseball Susie, it was happening to other teams. It, I can remember the 90s Dodgers. I can remember the Angels having situations like that. The Padres have always had situations like that where they've had somebody and then let them go and they become lights out. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, but it's not even that. Like I said, it's not even that he changed his swing or like
Nope.
that they tweet. No, immediately, immediately he was like ranked their number one prospect, and then he was everyone. And I'm so done with nationalists. I'm over y'all.
Can I just tell you, at any point, I would be happy to give you Josh Fields back for Yordan Alvarez.
No, thank you.
I want to know who thought it was a good idea that this kid wasn't going to be anything.
So what I had heard was that apparently it was a different Alvarez that whomever made the actual trade that
Hmm.
that they were thinking that it was a different Alvarez that they were giving the Astros. Like it wasn't they had Jordan mixed up with somebody else in so I don't know if there was another Alvarez system like guy
Mm.
that was in the system at the same time. But that was the story that I had heard that we had asked for Jordan and they had thought that Jordan, like the Jordan Alvarez that we know, was a whole different player. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, that's totally fine. Like we'll give you him. Like he's nobody." And then after it was signed on the dotted line, then somebody was like, "What did you just do? This is Jordan Alvarez." Like, and they're all, "No, that the other guy, that's Jordan." And they're like, "No, no, that's not. Nope." And so that was the unofficial story that I'd heard.
I hope that that's not true because if that's true, somebody deserves to be fired for life, like banned from baseball, everything. You're out of here. But
Yeah. So
if it's true, hey, hey, you know, I get it. I get it. So
listen, you guys can't hit on everybody, all right? Like you can't hit on all the Dodgers and you got all the, deferred money in the world, but you can't
why
have it
not?
all,
Jennifer Lopez
you can't have
does.
it all. Listen, with that booty of hers, she can do a lot of things, all right? Like I'm just saying. I'm just okay. When you're, 50 plus and you got all of that, like you
You're
can do
six
pretty much whatever
marriages
you want.
into it, and yeah,
All right?
it's okay.
Yeah. You can do pretty much
It's
whatever you want. Till the
it's
Dodgers
okay.
get a booty like J-Lo, you can't have it all.
Okay. We'll work on that. We'll let them know. I'll make a
Yeah.
few phone calls. I'll say, Magic,
Okay.
you need to get a booty like J-Lo, and then we can have it all.
Just saying. Just saying.
He says, can I quote you?
Yeah. Please do.
Okay, I'll quote you.
Yeah.
Quote you. All right. So let's talk for a second. Let's talk about the funny side of baseball because we got spring training coming up. There's always funny things that happen in spring training. There's always funny things that happen around the league. Can you give me one or two, three funny things? I'll match you pound for pound, but can you give me a funny experience in baseball?
Well, I know if you I don't know, for the audio only people, I don't know if you need to go to the YouTubes. If you don't have a spring training countdown on
Yeah,
your phone, like, what are you
yeah,
even doing? Are you even a baseball fan? Are you? You're
yeah.
not? That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I don't we're not gatekeeping fandom over here. I just have a disease, and I
I
need
just
to know
have a
how many days left
disease.
until spring training, okay? So, like, not only is there 51 days left till spring training, there is 84 days left until opening day. So,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where I'm super excited about, and then
Well, we've got under 40 days until pitchers and catchers report.
yeah,
Till
I don't
games start is 51 days.
yeah, I don't technically I mean, like, yes, I count that because we're gonna get, like, little clips here and there, but there's nothing that I can, like, physically watch on MLB.com yet with, like,
Yes.
actual games yet. So that's why I don't technically count picture very excited about all of the Yiner Diaz clips that are coming out on Instagram that he's, like, working on all the things, and so, but yeah, no, I've actually never I went to spring training one time, and I did not get the full spring training experience, and I'm kinda mad about it because it was the year after COVID, and there were still COVID protocols, like, in place, and I was very upset about it. So, I need to go back now that all of the COVID protocols have been lifted and, like, you can talk to the players and all that fun stuff, so, um, but I'm excited about FanFest. I don't know if I know other teams have some sort of, like, fan
Right.
thing that happens, and they're all called something a little bit different, but yeah, I'm excited about FanFest coming up, and I don't know, this is not a math pod, I don't do the maths, but I wanna say that the Astros FanFest is coming up, January 20th. So that is what, 16 days away? Again,
Mhm.
I don't do the maths. So,
Yeah. They asked us if we could move our fan fest, the Top Fan Rivalry Fan Fest, because at the same time we told the Astros no.
yeah. Well,
And
I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
they were disappointed.
Yeah.
I told them that we would definitely, consider it next year, but this year's just gonna be too tough.
Yeah. Well, and so I don't like I said, I haven't been back to a spring training, but I really wanna go. And then they're now having, like, a all-star
Mhm.
spring training game with, like, all of, like, the rookies from the best team or best rookies from all of the teams, and they will play, like, in a I guess that's really good for trying to, grow the game and get people excited to go to the minor league systems and all that stuff, so I'm like, "Hmm, maybe that'll be fun." But I don't know, like, I don't know if I personally probably would go just because 'cause I'm interested in all of the other minor leaguers, but I don't know. You gotta be, like, a really hardcore fan to know minor leaguers of other teams,
Yeah, yeah. No, no, you
and to
have
be, like,
it.
excited about them.
I have people that reach out to me all the time that wanna be on podcasts, and I have the one in particular who, like, is like, "Hey, did you hear about so and so? He's in, like, high A ball for the Pirates." I haven't. Let me know when he gets to Triple A. Like, high A ball is an extension of college.
Yeah,
So, do you want me to know all the college players too? Because I'll work on it.
absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I've had people reach out to me and ask about, like, what I think about, so and so college player. I don't think you understand how much, like, actual major league baseball stuff that I consume. I don't know if I can add in any more college baseball things. And they're like, "Yeah, but," and I'm all, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't really have any, like, I guess, fun spring training stories, because I haven't really enjoyed spring training in and of itself to really
Mhm.
have anything. So that's maybe on my bucket list for my life.
So I had a funny spring training story last year.
Mhm,
Um, and so we went spring training last year. First time I had ever done it in my life.
mhm.
Okay. Went there last year.
Wait,
Um,
where do the Dodgers spring train in Arizona?
yes, they do.
Okay,
So the spring training at Camelback Ranch, they share it with the White Sox, which
oh,
is
okay,
weird,
yeah.
right?
I don't
Um,
know. Ours is the Nationals, so
right.
and the Cardinals.
So
So
it's kind of funny because they have in left field and right field, they have these big brick buildings that look like your old high school gymnasium, which is where their corporate offices are for spring training and their locker rooms and stuff like that. So there's a top fan rivalry guy, super nice fellow, says, "Hey, I hear that you're here. Come meet me." And I thought, hmm, this doesn't sound awesome. But I'm with two other Dodger fans, right? And Amber had stayed at home. We had another Dodger fan with us that just didn't want to go early. He's like, seriously, meet me early. I'd like to get a picture with you guys. Okay. So this one Dodger fan account has like 150,000 followers. This other Dodger fan account has like 29,000 followers. Here's Top Fan Rivalry that has a podcast that has like 2,000 followers or whatever. So not a big deal to me, right? I said, okay, let's do it. We'll get a picture. And it turns out that he works for the Dodgers in spring training, gives us a tour of like the corporate offices, things like that. And so I'm feeling like, hey, this is like I was excited to get a picture with him to start out with, but he walks us by like where they have the bullpen, where you see it on TV, and like places where you and I couldn't go without him,
Right.
right? And then so there's a spot where the Dodgers come out of the clubhouse and they have to walk down these stairs.
Uh-huh.
And it basically takes them into the bullpen. And then from the bullpen, they walk onto the field. It's totally different in a major league ballpark than in spring training, right? And so the guy that we're one of the guys that we're with likes to do things that are just this side of like, hey, you can't do that. So he starts walking down those steps. And the guy that's giving us a tour goes, hey, calls him by name, goes, hey, you can't do that. And he goes, I know, I just want to take a picture of me like I'm walking up the stairs after a game. Because he's like in a Dodger jersey. He goes, you got to get off the stairs. He's like, let me just take a quick picture. He's like, no, get off the stairs. Me and this other guy are going, get off the stairs. We're getting this like cool tour and you're about ready to blow it.
Right?
Right.
You're like, "Stop messing it up for us."
We all have that friend though. We all have that friend that is like, just this side of get you kicked out of something, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think I have I don't think I have that friend, and then I realized that I may be that friend.
You may
Ay, ay, ay. Like, but
be that person.
self-awareness is a good thing. Come on, like, it's just
Love it.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you may be that person. No, it's trust me, it was an amazing like it was funny. Like I can laugh about it now, but the other guy that I was with was getting frustrated with this guy, and we didn't have seats. We were sitting in the grass.
Okay.
So even though Arizona spring training is not hot by any way,
Right.
shape, or form, it's mid to high 70s. It's not bad. You're still in the sun
Right.
and you're still baking. Like you're literally like bacon on a frying pan. And
But there's no
so
humidity though, so you're quote unquote okay. Drink some water, you'll be all right.
I
Put
may
some
or may
sunscreen
not
on
have
though.
been one of those colors on your Astro jersey that's right behind you there. And when we were done, because I didn't think to put sunscreen on. So
Oh,
yeah,
rookie move, Bill. Rookie move.
I know. I know. I look back on it now and I think, what was I doing? But
Ay, ay, ay.
sometimes you just gotta be stupid to whatever, right?
Yeah. Though I want to say those spring training hats that they had, because everything is like a marketing merchandise
Yeah.
thing. And so they had the spring training hats last season, and the back of the hats were mesh,
Yep.
like the back half of that. And I want to say, I don't remember which of our coaching staff it was, but it was like two of our coaching staff guys that are, shall I say, hairless? Because they're not like bald, but they've got a little less hair back there than your standard full head of hair. And they took off their hat and they just had the picture of the bat, and it was like, and it was red, and you could see the little dots. You could
Yeah.
see the,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh. And they're all,
Yeah.
someone, and I think the caption was something like, someone did not think this through.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because when I was walking through Camelback, I saw a few guys like that. Because so some fans and God bless them for this, right? They make spring training a thing, right?
Right.
They make spring training a thing, and it's what they prepare for every year. They get excited about it. Guys, gal, I know groups of ladies that go to spring training, right? You know, four,
Mhm.
five, six ladies that have crushes on different players and just want their autograph and stuff like that. So I'm walking through Camelback, and Camelback has like kind of two levels, sort of. I
Mhm.
don't know how to describe it, but I'm walking underneath this underpass and I see this guy and I'm like, and he takes off his hat and I see the little red dots. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you've been here all week. Okay. Maybe throw some sunscreen on that thing or something like that. Or
Mhm.
maybe, wear a bandana or something
Yep.
like
The back of the neck, guys. Back of the neck, and I'm talking to ladies too. Like back of the neck. If you don't got the hair, like put some sunscreen on. Like it,
I mean,
top of
yeah,
the ears too. That's a big one.
yeah,
Top of
oh
the
yeah,
ears.
yeah. Ears, very sensitive,
Mhm.
very sensitive. The yeah, it was, yeah, spring training's fun. There's always funny moments that happen at spring training. Always funny moments. And that same day that we almost got kicked out of Camelback Ranch, I went and saw an MLB prospect who's a friend of mine. His dad's a really good friend of mine, and and I went to go see him. He now pitches for Tennessee, and so he was pitching in a game that night. Um, and he they did the other coach really wanted him out of the game because he was like dominating them. The other
Mhm.
coach really wanted them out of the game. And so he got like a base hit. And I guess Arizona high school rules are if you're the pitcher, you can actually substitute in a runner for you after you hit so that you don't get hurt
Mhm.
running the bases or whatever, but you're not taken out of the game, right? But it has to
Oh,
happen
okay.
between certain innings and stuff like that. Well, this guy is like arguing that my friend's son should be out of the game. Oh, no, 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 no. So the next at bat, my friend's son hits a home run. And as it's
Ah.
going, I'm like, take him out now. Take him out now. What you got now? Like, and you can hear me on the video that his dad's doing. I'm like, get up, get out of here, get out of here. Yeah, now take him out. Now, like, I was a little embarrassed, but I was frustrated that this poor high school coach, like, that this dude's going to dominate. You teach your kids how to bunt, do something. But
Right, right. That's
it was
funny.
awesome. It was
That's so funny.
awesome.
I like that. I like
All
that.
right,
Bill with a
Suzy,
little fire. Look at it. I like it.
dude, when it comes to baseball, I got it, right? I got it. Yeah, I got it. So, um, okay, so do you have any guests on your podcast, Bourbon and Baseball, this week?
So I am going to have Sean Spradling on, and if you aren't familiar with Sean, he actually is well, I dubbed him the WBC guy. So if you're on Twitter or if you're on
Okay,
Instagram, that's how kind of he started. Like he started the WBC. I don't want to say like movement, but there was a lot of information out there that basically like no one was reporting. And before the WBC happened this season, he just kind of gathered it all and gave and like on his own time just made rosters for basically all of the different teams and information, and he follows a lot of different sources, and he actually was able to go to the WBC this past season and interview a lot of the players and stuff. And his I think when I first had him on the show, I think he had like 2,000-ish followers, and now he's in like the 15 to 16,000 followers, and it's all just been over this WBC content, and it was never like wanting to be that like content creator, and he just saw like a niche, and he wanted to fill it because he himself was interested in it, and he's like, maybe other people will be interested in it, and especially since this season it happened. Obviously, a lot of people were like, who are these players from Japan or England or Great Britain? And so he did it all. And so I'm having him on tonight, I think, to talk about his experience and
now is that
the showcase in Abu Dhabi.
okay?
Abu Dhabi?
That
Yeah, I
that's
want to
a
say it was
word
Abu
that you
Dhabi.
gotta
Like
love saying all the time. Abu Dhabi.
it is. It was very fun. I want to say he had just come back from that because we had been trying to get on each other's schedule for months now, and he's like, "I'm actually in Abu Dhabi," and I was like, "Oh, well, JK, talk to me when you're back." And so,
Did you say,
um,
are you having some hubba bubba in Abu Dhabi?
yeah, it loses a little something when it's written, you
Okay.
know? Yeah, in DMs, it doesn't translate as well, you know?
No, it
If it was like a
doesn't.
phone call or something like that, like, I would've, but, loses a little bit in
Loses some in
translation.
translation. So is
Yeah.
that you and Kelsey doing that, or is that just you?
It's just gonna be me, and unfortunately, Kelsey is not available tonight. She's got, like,
Okay.
a life and stuff.
She's got, how
Yeah.
dare she have a life and not want to talk more baseball?
I know, it's really annoying, actually.
It's, gosh, it is.
Mhm.
So, well, cool. So you've got that. What else do you have? Because we're not filming for another 5 or 6 days. Do you have any other podcasts, any other things that you got going on?
I don't, just have that, and then, obviously, our normal recording of Bourbon and Baseball on Sunday, and then I've got a couple of different fire pokers in the fire. Is that is that
Pokers in the
the
fire.
is that
Yes.
the saying? That's not the saying, is it? I don't
That,
know.
oh yeah. Irons
Oh,
in the
okay.
fire. Irons
Irons
in
in
the
the fire, there we go. I'm like, "That's not." Okay. But yeah, I've got a couple of DMs out to various people. I don't wanna jinx it yet, so
fire.
but
Okay.
I'm hoping to get a couple of other, guests on before the season actually starts, some color
Cool.
commentators of various teams and whatnot, but I just actually did one with the Astros color commentator, Jeff Blum, a couple of weeks ago, and that was
Nice.
really fun to try and kinda talk to him about, like, his career before he became a color commentator and how he even transitioned into being
Mhm.
the color commentator and stuff, so, uh, you can go and find that on all of the venues? No, not venues. Venue's not the word. Channels?
Locations,
Yep,
channels.
there we go.
Yeah.
So, yep, all of the, usual suspects,
Nice.
Apple, Spotify,
Nice.
YouTubes, all this stuff.
So we're gonna create a hashtag over here at Top Fan Rivalry. Um, and the hashtag is gonna be
Not
hashtag
that
when,
Asian?
yeah, hashtag when does Bill get to be on Bourbon and Baseball Pod with Kelsey and Suzy?
That does need to happen, Bill. We'll get it on the schedule.
I'll do it on a Sunday. It's okay.
Okay,
It's
alright.
okay. I'll play time, I'll play what do they call it? Time zone, jumping, whatever. But you know, I for those of you watching this, Suzy is awesome to have on the show. I, on the other hand, am not cool enough to be on her show. Just to get that out. No, I'm just
I wanna say that these are all Bill's words, and Bill is putting words into my mouth, and that's not fun, Bill. That's not
so
fun.
I've got
That's
it
not
in
nice, sir.
invisible ink right here. It's written in invisible ink right here. No. So
If
so
you're audio only right now, if you're audio only, you can go to the YouTubes, and I'm shaking my head at Bill. Shaking
what
my head.
what's the one finger that's up though? I don't understand that sign. No, no, not so much.
Again, again, Bill, if I were to do that, it would be double fingers that were up, okay?
Okay,
All of the audio only people are like, "Dang,
what's going on?
Susie chick." Yeah. Go to the YouTubes. I was not doing anything, guys.
So
I was not doing anything, so
so for those of you, if we really want to get Susie's goat, it's really easy. Susie, let's play start one, cut one, bench one. No, I'm just
this
kidding.
these are the reasons, Bill, that you do not come on my podcast, okay? These are the reasons,
There
okay?
you go.
Just so you know, I'm still a little salty about that whole game that we played.
I'm still
Forced
waiting.
me that you forced me to
I'm
play.
still waiting for you to I'm still waiting for you to play that game on me. Like,
I know, Bill, but it's going to be the when you least expect. I'm not gonna prepare you for it. I'm not gonna prepare you for it. It's going to be when you least expect it. That's what I'm gonna do. So
awesome.
I'm biding my time. That's what I'm
Awesome.
doing.
Okay, so for those of you listening to the audio portion of this, you have to understand you got to watch it on YouTube. Okay, Susie and I are friends. We poke each other a little bit. This is all good fun. Like we don't. Yeah. Just know that she's an Astro fan. That's her fault. But I'm a Dodger fan, and that's a good thing. Um,
People can't be perfect, okay, Bill? That
if they
being
were,
a
they'd be
Dodger fan
Rangers
apparently
fans,
is
right?
is your one flaw. I say one big flaw. But like being a Dodger fan is, I think, the biggest flaw. So maybe that counts as like
Uh,
multiple flaws.
if that's my only flaw, then Amber would just be awesome. Yeah, but she would just like love it. But she knows
Listen,
better than that. I mean,
Amber has slipped me a list of your flaws. It's
how
not
many
a
pages?
it's
How many
it's it's
pages?
it's a long list. It's a long
Yeah,
list, Bill. Just but being
yeah.
a Dodger fan is like right up there though. Like that's
If you've ever watched Christmas Vacation, have you ever seen the movie Christmas Vacation?
nope. I know what it's about. I've just never
Okay,
sat
you
down and
need to
watched
go
it.
watch Christmas Vacation. Watch the opening scene where Santa Claus is looking down the list to find the Griswold name. That's the list of my flaws. Like you just see it. It's just you're going down, going down, going down. Oh, is this gonna ever stop?
No,
Mm.
no. But being a Dodger fan is right up there. That's like the cardinal one. That's like
That
the
might be.
biggest one.
It might be in
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah.
But all I have to say to you is what I said on the podcast before: fastball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay.
there
It's
you
all right.
you go. Well, for you Bourbon and Baseball Pod fans, thank you for joining the Top Fan Rivalry community and listening to this. For you Top Fan Rivalry fans, make sure you're following Suzy. We do this every week. Astros in orbit. Next week we'll have some more Astros stuff to talk about, some more funny sides of baseball, and we'll have a good time. Hopefully, Suzy and I will have to have some type of competition or bet where I can get her in Dodgers gear at some point during the season.
Oh
This
no. Oh.
this will be
Oh.
a lot of fun. We'll have to
Oh
think of
no.
something fun.
That's not nope. That's
Not
not
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen. No. No,
Not gonna
that's
happen.
all that's almost as bad as saying that if Susie, if you lose a bet, you have to wear like Yankee gear. Like between the Yankees and the Dodgers, that it would no, thank you. That's to take because
I
that's
know
not
how I can get you a Dodger gear, but we'll talk about that
mm-mm,
offline.
nope,
I know how I can
not
get
gonna
you
do
a
it.
Dodger gear. To be continued on that. All right, Top Fan Rivalry followers and Bourbon and Baseball followers, we thank you, Suzy. Let's do it again next week. Stick around for a second. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.